Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to cover winter prep for what I call your fun cars. My case, 2013 Boss 302. I'm going to go through all the steps I take on washing and prepping this for winter whenever it comes to the care of the body and the paintwork. So stay tuned. Start. Pressure washer. Always point your nozzle down. Make sure it doesn't blow off. I'm going to switch mine. I'm using P&S brake buster and a foam cannon. Take that off. The nozzle back on. Go back in the right direction. I always like to shoot it right. Now, I always like to spray. Get this wet. Get right on in here. I'll normally do between two spokes on this car. On one side, flip it over because they're gloss. I don't want to scratch them as least I can. So I'll do two on each side. Spray. The other reason why I use a foam cannon with brake buster is mainly because it foams. I don't have to break out the what do you call it, soap bucket. I just have a bucket to hold my tools. So this is a what do you call this? I think it's from a detail factory, inner wheel barrel brush or something like that. It's microfiber. It's not the actual bristle brush. You'll see me break that out here in a minute. So, this last wheel, sling off there, get that cleaned off. I got brake dust in one shirt. Alright, this is a small, easy detail brush. I don't normally recommend these. If you can, in the backs you won't need it, but because I got Brumbos, it's a very tight fit, so just be careful. Oh, but I want to get in behind those so that the easy detail brush doesn't work. It's too big. So I want to get in here very gently, try to get behind where the caliper is. And I'll leave links to all this stuff in the description. This is like a lambskin mitt. I like using mitts. I'm not a huge fan of using soft brushes. I do here in certain places, you'll see. But for the actual wheels, I want to use something I can get in there like a mitt. So. Because these are coated, you won't see a whole lot of problem scratching. There's no way to avoid scratching. I don't care what anybody says. Things scratch. It's just a matter of can you see them in a normal day setting. Me, I see them all the time. So, alright, get all the spokes. Did around the edge there. Around right here in front of the spokes. And I like to try to get in between here on the center hub. Rinse it out, wring it out. Bucket. Easy detail brush, the soft one. Don't use boar's hair brushes on gloss wheels, please. I watch people do it all the time. Don't do it. I like to try to get all the bristles in the hole here as much as you can, and then just give it a little one of those, kind of back it out. Yes, it's a little tedious, but I just spent an hour and a half per wheel just polishing these, let alone coating them and prepping them. Last thing I want to do is re-scratch them. So I always do them. I do try to get in around where the valve stem is, best I can. Rinse that off. Brake buster straight up. The tires. The inner fender wells there. I restored those, so they should clean up pretty good. I always like to try to go in here, try to get as much as I can. I'm gonna try to reach up in here. Always like to rinse that out. New tire. This is easy detail brush, tire brush. I have a Tough Shine tire brush. It's stiffer than this. I like this one a little better. Stiff one I'll use on tires that are trashed, like my company car over there. I'll have to break that out because it's got 7,000 miles. Got it 2 months ago. The tire's trashed on it, but I drive thousands of miles a week, so. Or hundreds of miles, I guess you could say, about 1,000 miles a week normally. So, but just go around your tire, real good. I don't see, this is brake buster, like I said, in the foam cannon and then the spray bottle. I do it straight up on the tires, it helps break stuff down. This stuff seems to do just fine. Sometimes I'll use depending on how trashed the tires are, you can use an all-purpose cleaner, but I don't let my stuff get that bad, so most of the time. So. Alright. Rinse this. And I can't take credit for how I wash my wheels, a lot of it. Check out Matt Mormon over at Obsessed Garage. Kind of learned this process from him. It makes the most sense to me. I always hated wheel buckets with soap and water and make another big mess and a bunch of other things. Just throw some brushes in a bucket and call it good. So as you can see, all the water beads off really well because I just coated them. So something I do like to do. This is Car Pro Hydro 2. I bought it concentrated. You can buy it ready mixed. I got a giant bottle of it over there because I use it on all my wheels. So it's just a spray on, rinse off sealant. So gives me a top coat for the winter. Inner fender wells, it's a killer idea to use it on. Maybe I use a little too much, that's okay, I don't really care. Then just rinse and you'll watch the water run right off the plastics and inner fender wells. That'll help. That just gives it a sacrificial layer over top. So let's move on to the wash. All right, so we're gonna go ahead. I don't rinse my car first. I go straight to foam. Reason for it is I want things lifted off the car. I don't want dirt being drugged through the water. So I go ahead, foam the car dry and let it dwell. I don't know, a couple 3 minutes. It's all going to depend on the weather today. It's relatively cool, but the sun's starting to bake on. So I'm using Kudge Chemi GSF and an all-purpose cleaner I want to add to it to help, because this is a pH neutral soap that I use all the time for maintenance wash. This stuff, I want to add a little bit of cut power to it because I drove this probably about 1,000 miles. So I want to make sure to get it off. It's winter time, winter's coming. I'm going to be parking it. I want to get everything stripped off of it. So I'm going to go ahead and add some cut power to it. So mix these, I don't know. I think I put 100 mils of this in. I think it recommends 50 or 20. It says 20 on the bottle. And then it actually tells you can add their their all-purpose cleaner. Well, my all-purpose cleaner is what I got. I'll get theirs when this is gone. I want to use up what I have. So I put 100 mils of this, 100 milliliters to a liter foam cannon. This is the MTM PF22.2, I think, or something like that. Mix these together, 100 of this, 100 of this. Mix them together, fill the rest of the water most of the way, and let it rip. Alright, as I mentioned, I like doing it dry. I feel like it'll help cut down on scratching. Even though this car's got some scratches on it, I'm going to polish it this winter, so. While that's dwelling, let's take care of our bucket. I've already got water in here, something I do. And a lot of this is credited to Matt Bowman Access Garage. A lot of what I do. So whatever's left in your foam cannon, dump it in the wash bucket, or you can spray it on the car. I'm running out of time. Normally I would respray it back on, but it'll be alright. So wash out your foam cannon. Dump it in the wash bucket. Got the sink. I already got a wash mitt. This is an Incredipad by, what is it, Microfiber Madness, I think. I got GSF on it already, same as the foam cannon. We'll add some all-purpose. How much? That's enough. How much it is, I don't know. Doesn't really matter to me. I want some in it. So, alright. So now that's already full. I put my soap. I put my soap right on the mitt. A lot of the times you put it on the bottom of a bucket, it doesn't mix up well. This stuff isn't too thick, so I don't think it really matters, but sometimes if you do too thick of soap, it doesn't really mix very well, so I always put it in the pad so it doesn't blow out everywhere. So I got a little ball valve here. Alright, wash that off there. Let's get the washing. Get this ready, moved out. Alright. Switch it on done. Sure it's cooked in. Always point it at the ground, make sure it's connected so you don't hit your car. Don't ask me how I know. Always like to let it drip out. Wash bucket, I like to start on the top, work my way down. You'll see me revisit the bucket a lot. I want to get as much trash off of it. I always pick a line on this car. So I started on top, work my way down the line. So I just picked, you know, windows up. And I'll work my way around the car kind of in that same fashion. And then I'll come back and do the lowers. No, it's not efficient, but I want to keep lower junk from upper junk. Because down here is going to get dirty the most. Now up here we got bug guts and bird droppings and whatever else, so this is what I kind of like to hit before I hit the lower panels, after I've hit all the uppers. I already did the rear, nothing special there. I just get the rear done as one piece. Chips, bugs, this trip made a mess of this car. Now, the key is don't sit here and scrub on bugs until you scratch things. Sometimes you can maybe pick one if there's only one, but I recommend, you know, most of the time, as you're cleaning, get what most you can, flipping your pad constantly. Your protection's supposed to keep it from being on. And then whatever's left, we'll get in the drying stage. Rinse. Again. Try to get in here the best you can. No good place to get in there. Try to get in those areas. Pad. Oh, I got grease on here from something. I don't know why. Hit this little bit of a spot here. Headlights. I can't tell what's old bugs and new bugs because there's bugs flying on as fast as I can clean it. Now because this is, as you can see, the sun's here. So something you want to do is try not to let it dry on the surface. That's why I went to the back first and I hit the front next. So most of the bugs are gone now. Don't worry about the rest. Darn dry. Always flip your pad. Rinse, wash, next. There's tar, grease. God, I don't know what's on this thing. Flip. You always want to try to keep your uppers separate from the lowers. So, alright. I'll do the other side and I'll be back. Rinse. Something I did forget, and it's something I do at the end of every wash here, where I rinse door jambs. Most forgotten thing ever. Find where your gasket goes. Look at your door, see where it butts up on the gasket, you'll see the dirt all through here. So I'll let me go through here. Clean this off. I'd probably say this is the dirtiest part of the whole car. So, lock the doors. Back of the gasket there. A lot of that will rinse out. So. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and rinse. Alright. That's all for rinsing. I'm going to take a minute here, and I'll come back and blow it off. Continue on. I want to check out who finishes the race here. Alright, so I'm going to do an iron remove on this. This is iron, P&S Iron Buster. It's supposed to help pull out metal contamination from brakes, brake dust, rail dust. Probably isn't very much because I did this earlier in the year. So I always do this at the end of the year to try to get that metal out so it isn't sitting in the paint over the winter when it's not being driven. So spray it on liberally. Try to avoid your plastics and rubbers, but if you bump them, it'll be out. If you get a little on them, that's okay. Let it dwell 4 or 5 minutes and we'll rinse it off. Alright, while that's dwelling, so what that does is that breaks up any metal contamination in the paint, as I mentioned. I forget the acid they use in it, but it helps break down, and it's not so it pulls it out. What it does is it takes any rust on that piece of metal and erodes it away, so it's smaller, so it can dislodge. And then what we'll do is we'll rinse it, so let that sit. You can see there's a little bit of metal here, probably behind that stripe. So it's turning a little bit purple, so it's getting that out. Like I said, you're not going to see a whole lot on this car because I did it earlier after I bought it. See, you can see right there, it's changing a little bit. Got some more spots here, and this is probably a lot from my trip that I took. So, yeah, there's quite a bit more iron in this now than there was the first time I did it. The first time it didn't seem like it did anything, but there's spots everywhere. And like I said, I put, a couple thousand miles on this in a week, so, on a vacation, so. Now, you seen that react? Looks good. Go ahead and get it rinsed. Rinsed. Gel. Alright. So now, something we may do, I don't know if I really want to, may do a clay bar. So, but something I know I'm going to do is you'll see this here. This is rubber and tar, and it just doesn't, you don't want to scrape at it. So, what I'll do, how do I want to go about this order of operations? I think what I'll do is I'll probably go around. Let's take a feel on here and see if we think this is going to need decontaminated with a... Yeah, we may have to do a clay bar on this. What you're looking for is for it to be rough. There's rough stuff here, but is that from this tar that's here, or is there more than you can see? You can go ahead and just clay it. Other than that, everything above the stripe, it's pretty silky smooth. The idea is I'm going to polish. You don't have to if you want to just leave it the way it is. You see there's little bits of tar and stuff on here. So what I'll do, let's go get some tar remover. We'll remove the tar on the bottom here, and then we'll take a feel from there and see what it seems like from there. All right, so what I'm using here, this is Kosh Chemi Ulex or EU. It's a stain adhesive remover. It works really well on tar. So I'm gonna go ahead and use that with an Eagle Edgeless 350 from the Rag Company, and let's see if we can get some of this off and see what we got after that. Now that'll let me dictate exactly what needs to be, if it needs cleaning off. So a little bit. Cap there. 4 4s. I'm gonna absolutely drench it. This stuff I recommend using in a well-ventilated area. So, as you can see, we got it on there. First, still wet. A little bit more. Try to avoid hitting your matte stripes if you have them. Yeah, it feels a lot better. I feel pretty good about that. Took a lot off. I don't like doing claying if I don't have to. If you're gonna wax it, you don't have to clay it. You can if you want. Understand, a lot of the time, claying for anybody that's newer to this will most likely scratch. So if you scratch it, you're gonna see it. So if you don't like scratches, my recommendation, stay away from clay. Maybe it's not enough that you notice. I'll notice. That's why I'm trying to avoid it. I gotta polish anyways, but it's already got enough scratches. Yeah, it's rough. I just think it's because it's chipped up. I just put the flaps on it, so I can bring it back in here. You can see if you can see where I didn't do yet. So you see that there. Come up through where I was before. That was a really bad stripe of tar that was there, so you can see it took a lot of it off. So what I'll do is I'll go around, continue on with this, trying to remove that, and then I'll reevaluate if it needs clayed or not. So be right back. Alright, a spot that I wanted to show you how this stuff works good. This is like tree sap of some sort. It's a clear like adhesive that's got on the paint. So same deal. Ulex rag. Just like that, it's gone. Take off whatever's left here. A little tar over there. Bugs are still in the car. Alright. So as you can see, it peeled that stuff right off. I just wanted to show you up close and personal what it can do. So, alright, continue on. Alright. I went ahead and finished Ulex. Got all the tar off the bottom and stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and rinse it off. Going around the bottoms, the back, and the front. Alright, so what I think I'm going to do with clay, I'm not going to do the whole car. Up here, pretty much from here up, seems to be buttery smooth. There's been protection on here. They've taken pretty well okay care of it to where stuff doesn't stick as much. So I think I'm going to clay from here down, all the way through there, and maybe a little on the front up here. Alright, so what I'm using, clay lube. This is rinseless wash, pick whatever you want, mix it up. The clay lube, most of them are good for clay lubes. Nanoskin Auto Scrub Sponge. This, if you drop it on the ground, dunk in a bucket of water and soap, it'll rinse off. You keep reusing it. It's the advantages of it. People will say these scratch more than clay bar. I don't know. I go with what's convenient. So I like this. You can reuse it, keep it in the package it came in. Don't throw it away. Store it in a nice, decent place. I got it in a container up there with my other stuff. So. And I'm using a small one. They make a big 6-inch disc if you're going to do the whole car. Me, in my case, I'm doing a small sponge, so I'm going to pull out the small sponge. So we're going to do right down here. Clay lube. Also, when they're new, this one's new. I had to throw my old one out. I dropped it, made a big mess of it, doing some bad stuff. really contaminated things where it was embedded in there, it was going to destroy paint. You want to break these in on the glass. I think it says it in the directions, so that. What this does is break down any manufacturing garbage that might be on it, breaks it out. It won't damage glass, because glass is hard. Those things. Speed, not pressure. It's all about speed, not pressure. Light speed, light pressure, high speed. Lots of pressure will create more scratches than it already creates. So, I'd say go around, do all the windows, and then once it's broken, you can use it on the paint, keep it. You won't have to break it in again until you get a new one. So, all right, broken in off all the glass. Go ahead and use the bottoms here. Like I said, I'm gonna do this car. I'm gonna talk car drive by. I haven't had a car drive by since I told you I'd be back. I'm gonna do from the line down below. I'm not gonna touch the line. Don't do that on matte stripes, matte anything. Don't clay on matte paint, matte wraps. Wouldn't even recommend claying on any wrap. So keep that in mind. This is bare paint work. So I already sprayed that. I'm just going to be very gentle. It isn't bad. So I'm just going to be. See, I'm not seeing much here. I like to spray it back on as kind of a rinse it. Maybe small sections. Just taking some good contamination off here. I don't, like I said, I don't feel any of the other paint. It'll feel rough is what you're looking for. So I understand I'm going to be polishing it, and even then I still don't want clay. If I was just going to wax it, probably leave it unless the contamination was real bad because it induces scratches. That's why I say don't use it on matte wraps or any wraps because it'll scratch them. Not saying you can't polish your wrap. I don't know. I've never polished a wrap. I'm not going to. I don't like wraps, so that's just me. But light pressure, high speed, easy. Don't touch these stripes. This will take off whatever is left. God, that is tore up from the floor. Now I still have my raw wash bucket still here. Dip it in your wash bucket. Keep going. I'll go ahead and do the other side. What little bit I'm going to do in the front, and the back seems to be okay. So, be right back. All right, that's the end. Rinse off my thing in my bucket. Yes, there's soap in it. That's okay. I'll take it over to my sink, rinse it out, let it dry out a little bit, and then I'll put it back in a package, slightly moist. I'll put a little clay lube on the front, stick it back in the plastic package it came in, and I'll keep it from sticking, keep it from drying out. So, because it's not often I use it. So, all right, clayed it. We'll go ahead and rinse it. Alright, well done rinsing, that's done. So we have recap. Foam, dry, all-purpose cleaner, regular soap. Rinse, soap bucket, same thing. Wash, rinse, iron, remove, rinse. Try to pull any tar off with a tar remover, adhesive remover, whatever you might use. What I use, that's fine. Get off the tar. You want to use a dedicated bug remover. I don't. I keep my bugs off, and then assess if you need the clay or not. After that, wax, seal, but I'm going to blow dry it off, and then I'll show you what I use to dry it for what I'm going to do now to park it, and yeah. Alright, so I'm going to pull this in. As you can see, I've run out of daylight, so I'm going to pull it in the garage, and I'll wrap this video up with drying it, touching up the wheels, drying those, put the tire dressing on, and call that good until I decide to polish on it this winter. Like I said. So I'll start with the roof, start off the side. This is my gauntlet drying towel. Spritz a little on that, front and back. You can use both sides. Do an initial wipe. And I can see the water spots just from what little bit's dried already. So this is why it's always good to get it dry and not wait like I did. Alright, so there's that one. And I'll do the same. This is a secondary towel I come in with. This is an FTW from the rag company. Now it'll give me a final wipe. Bring it the rest of the way out, leaves nothing behind. Anything that might be in here. I did have a bunch of sap or something on this car. It looks like most of it's come off at this point. There's a scratch right there. Let's take a not wait till this is polished. So I always start at the top and work my way down. Bug there. Man, wish I knew. God, man, you guys in North Carolina got some serious sap trees. I know that's what's left on this paint that didn't come off. Etched the crap out of my car. Oh well. It's not a trailer queen or a garage queen. It does get drove, so. And that's a very good point to make. Drive your car. Don't worry about it getting all scratched up. Trust me, it's hard enough for me to not think about scratches, but if you enjoy your car's driving, it's what we do this for right here. That's why you do all the work up front so you can go enjoy them and not worry as much. If you're worried about rock chips, go get a PPF because ceramic coatings don't protect against that. Me, don't drive so close. That's my idea. You'll most likely be okay. So, trying to get as much of that water out of there as possible. There we go. Alright. Well, I'll go ahead and finish drying this and we'll come back and we'll do the wheels and tires. Alright, so final thing to do here is taking care of wheels. So, this is a 12 by 12 gauntlet. So this is the same as the big plush drying towel I use on the paint. But I have small ones for the wheels, which work about perfect. So I'm using, this goes back to the paint. Use whatever you want on your wheels. These are gloss, so I don't want to scratch them after all the work I put into them. I already put a sealant on them. You've seen in my wheels, whenever I was cleaning the wheels at the beginning. I put the Car Pro H2O, or Hydro 2 for a top layer. You can use drying aid sealant like I have there. You can use any of those. I don't find it, I might do that every once in a while. If I forget to spray the wheels, I'll do it. Or sometimes that's all I got. But like in this case, I'm gonna use this gloss amplifier on there. Just as something to give me lubrication. To get the last little bit of water spots off if they dried. So spray a few spritzes on the wheels. A couple spritzes on the towel. Just give it a wipe down here. This stuff almost instantly evaporates. I probably put a little too much on, but that's okay. So, get these dried. Flip it over. Last little bit off there. And this stuff flashes off really quick. So, don't drag the ground if you can help it. Normally I would do this outside, but I run out of daylight, so it's actually kind of nice being in here. It's chilled off a lot outside since I pulled it in. Alright, so did that side. So now what I'll do, flip over the other. Actually probably should have used the dark gray side to wipe the inside here of the tire. End up with that. Oh well. So now, dress the tires. I do it with a brush. You can do it with an applicator, This is a race glaze brush. This is a lot bigger. You can use the smaller detail factory boar's hair brushes, that's fine. I don't think they work as well, but you can even use those really soft ones like I used on the lug nuts here. This is what I got. So Car Pro Pearl, cut 1:1. You can use it at full strength too. So always like to spritz it in there, hit it there, find a couple spots there isn't no lines in the design, and then spread it around. And the idea of the brushes is so you can get in all your nooks and crannies. So allows me to get right down there at the ground, right on my edges. Come right in here. I don't end up with a mess all over my wheel. Let me cut these nibs off. All right. Now I'll let that sit, and then I'll come back around with the drying towel and just buff it off whenever I get all the way back around. So, other than that, wheels are done. You can check like here on the mud flap. I can just knock off the water spots that are there. Look up inside here, see how good it looks. So, yeah, that's how I'll dress them. So, I'll go ahead and zip around here. All right, went around to all four now. I'm sitting down like this just because I want to. Normally I wouldn't sit down like this, I'd kneel, but I want to make sure you guys can see me. So all I did all four wheels and tires, dressed them, wiped them off. Everything looks good. This gives me a chance whenever I'm down here like this, look and see if anything needs touched up. Looks like everything's all good. Drying towel, I'm going to use the gray side. I don't want to use the white side on it. Next time I would probably flip-flop, use white for the wheel, gray for the tire. So in this case, it doesn't really matter. Just lightly brush over it. Knock down the sheen if you want. You don't have to. Me, I don't want to worry about stuff sticking to this. That's a big thing with a lot of tire dressings. All the weird ones you buy at like AutoZone and Advance. I've tried probably every one of them 50 times, and I never find one that doesn't collect dust really bad. Meguiar's Hyper Dressing, I'm sure probably wouldn't because it's a very similar product. In this case, I'm using Car Pro Pearl, cut 1:1. I mean, just look at how black that tire is. That's all I want, black tire. I don't want my tires gleaming. I want my wheels gleaming. So go around, wipe those off, and we will conclude this. All right, so in conclusion, car's done, as you can see. Walked you through the process of what I use. If you missed it, please feel free to ask me any questions in the comments. More than willing to answer any of them. If I can inspire anybody to get out there and clean their own cars, that'd be fantastic. Think about when you were the older folks out there washing cars in the 60s, 70s, 80s. It's even into the 90s. I don't remember anybody going out washing their cars now. I swear I don't remember the last time I drove by a driveway and seen somebody washing their car. My neighbors look at me like I'm half nuts most of the time because it seems like I'm washing something, I don't know, once a week, once every couple weeks. I have yet to ever see their cars even cleaned. It just doesn't seem like people want to take care of their stuff as much as they used to because they see it as, if it's clean, great. If it's not, that's fine too. I believe in trying to take care of things you purchase, whether they're new or old. We got my girlfriend's got a 2021 or 2022 Subaru Crosstrek. I ceramic coated it from day one, and I've maintained it ever since. I've got a 94 F-150 with rust on it. Guess what? It's still, I bet the paint looks just as good as the Subaru outside of rust because I paint corrected it, fixed it all, and then ceramic coated it. Now I maintain it the same. So I think there's a lot to be said for vehicles like that, for people that take care of vehicles like that. I try, especially with this car, this is now like #1 on my list after buying it in June. This has been a dream of mine to own a Mustang. Now that I own one, I'll probably own multiple into the future. but things got changed in life here a little bit, so this is the one I'll have for now, and hopefully add to the collection as time goes on. But wanted to show you my winter prep and what I like to do. In this case, a little bit different. Everything all the way up to my drying was the same as what I would normally do. I will be ceramic coating, so I didn't use a drying aid to do a maintain topper on top of a ceramic coating because it isn't on here. I wanted to get protection off of it, and I didn't want to be putting it back on because I'm going to be polishing and ceramic coating this winter. But after that, that would be the only thing that changes. So at this point, you're more than welcome, now that you did all this, to wax it, seal it as you want. You don't even have to necessarily polish to put a ceramic coating on. You can just ceramic coat it if it looks good to you. If it looks good to you, you're the person that matters, not everybody else. I just encourage everybody to get out there and clean their own cars. So please leave comments and down. Leave a comment down in the comment section. I'm always checking that out, making sure I answer anything that I can help with. If I don't know the answer, I'm more than willing to look it up. If you think something might be better, please feel free to suggest it. Always willing to learn. So yeah, I would say that wraps this one up. You'll be seeing more videos here, so stay tuned. Like, share, subscribe, and catch you in the next one.